splitting your retirement portfolio half into an annuity, this is a fixed annuity, and half into an aggressive portfolio. Something I'm thinking about after I was doing the video yesterday I did on selling your house and moving into a rental. All right, the same premise is going to apply here. We're going to have a $4,000 a month rent, and some people are saying that's not realistic. It is, if you sell a $1 million house, and I don't care what you're using the $4,000 a month on. I just want to use this for an example. And you can find plenty of rentals much less than $4,000. I'm just using that for example. So if you got a $500,000, instead of doing a $4,000 rental, you do $2,000. I don't care, however you want to do it. I'm just using that for an example. So here we're saying $4,000 a month is our rent, all right? And we're going to increase that by 2% a year. On top of that, we're going to get 4.8% is our rate of return on the annuity, a fixed rate of return. So we're going to get 4.8% a year, which would be whatever, 24,000 a year of income, okay? 24K a year of income. All right, obviously in this case, we're going to have to tap into some of the principal too. Why? Because we only have $500,000. So we don't have enough in the annuity income in order to cover the rent. You'll see what I'm doing. Remember, in an annuity, you have access usually to 10% a year without penalty. All right, so in this case, we'd have access to $50,000 a year, so that's fine. So we're getting $24,000 a year of income, but we're going to need another, $24K from principal. So that annuity at some point will be exhausted. All right. Right now, I saw at USAA, you can get a 10-year fixed annuity for 4.8%. All right. Now, there's no standard deviation. There's no fluctuation at all. It's just flat. All right. So we know for a fact exactly what this guy will pay and exactly how long it will last, assuming that we have a $4,000 a month rent and it grows at 2% a year inflation. We'll get into the software on this in just a second. Here, on the other hand, we got $500,000, which we're not touching. All right. We're not touching that, and we expect a 5.6% rate of return. However, it has a pretty massive standard deviation of 13%. Standard deviation just is the ebb and flow of the markets. That's it. All right, now we know for a fact that if we got a 7% rate of return, then this $500,000 would double in 10 years. The rule is 72. But we're not going to get a 7% every year guaranteed rate of return or a 7% rate of return. It's going to be volatile. We don't know what it's going to be. So assuming that we do get 7% in 10 years, this will be worth $1 million, regardless of volatility. I can't stress this enough. Just because we have a standard deviation, if we're not touching this portfolio, it only matters what the average rate of return is. That's it. It does not matter the volatility if we're not touching this portfolio. So essentially we're saying, Josh, we sold our house for $1 million. We're going to live off the rent, $4,000 a month, in a nice house in, I don't know, friggin' Cape Cod, all right? Right by the water, whatever. And then we're going to pay for that rent with this annuity, which has no downside risk, no upside either, other than the 4.8% interest. And on top of that, we're going to put our other $500,000 and let the market take care of it. All right. So let's see what this looks like. I hope this makes sense. It does. It should, because, you like your old buddy Josh. All right. So check this out. So we're going to go over here to Diane's sample, and we're going to see she has an expense is at $48,000 a year, adjust for 2% inflation. That's her rent. And I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be rent. It could be half rent and half going to the baseball game. I don't care. I'm just using this for rent for an example. All right. On top of that, we're going to say we have a net worth. All right. We got $1 million. We're going to put, it's not a 60-40 portfolio here. We're going to do this in a, hang tight, my friends. We're going to put it into a aggressive portfolio, 80-20. There we go. Yeah, 80-20. We'll just say 80-20 up here. 80, boink. 80. By the way, you guys watching that show on HBO Max called Winning Time about the Lakers? I like it. HBO Max is degenerate, dude. They got some stupid show like the sex lives of college girls, something about some gangster, something about bookies and stuff. Like, dude, can you guys be any more degenerate? But the show Winning Time with the 1980s Lakers is pretty fun to watch. I highly recommend. So anyway, there you go. All right, so then we're going to come down here. Here's our annuity. It's paying us 4.85% a year guaranteed. Now, I notice I put only on there 4.8 just for giggles, but 4.85%. All right. So now we got $1 million, and that's our only expense. And you're going to see right here our expense. We go to cash flows. Yeah. 48,000, 48,9, 49,9, 59, 52, 53, 54 because of the 2% inflation. And you can see our expenses are that, exactly. I mean, so that's our plan. That's what we're taking from our annuity initially. That's where our expenses are. You notice how they're matching, right? It's because we're basically covering our rent with our annuity. Everybody make sense so far? So we go over here to accounts, you can see our annuity is going down in value. All right, so we start with $500,000. We pay the first year mortgage. Then we go down here. By the time year 70, let's see, this is by the time 2025. By the time year 2037 kicks in, that's year 13, we have no more money left in the annuity, but we have $1 million left in our portfolio right here. We have $1 million in this guy. Pretty sneaky, sis. Now, rent at that stage is not going to be $48,000 a year. Rent's going to be, let's see, a year, I forgot what it was. Year, when we run out of money, year 2037. Year 2037, rent is $60,000 a year. So we're taking 6% because our portfolio in 2037 is $1 million. So we're taking over a 6% withdrawal rate from our portfolio. Okay, but guess what? We are also 77 years old, and we're only living until we're 90. So that's a 13 more years at a 6%. You can do that for sure. Now, would I keep it in a 80-20 portfolio, which has a, right here, 80-20, an expected rate of return of 5.6 with a standard deviation of 13.2? No, I would not do it at that stage. In fact, what I would do is I'd move that to a balanced portfolio. If even that, I'd probably put it in a, let's see if I can do this here. Let's see if I can do this. Hang tight. Oh, by the way, Diane's sample, without changing the portfolio, has a 58% probability of success, which means she's not run out of money. I mean, she could if she got crushed. I mean, that 13% standard deviation means on any given year she could be down 35 or 34%, a la 2008, but not likely to happen. But still, I mean, there is a chance that she could run out of money. Our probability is 58%. Still pretty good, man. That's still pretty good. So let's do this. I'm going to change that. Hang tight. This will make sense here in a sec. What I did is when she ran out of money in the annuity, I had her adjusting her portfolio to a conservative portfolio, which would give us a 5% conservative rate of return with a 6.8% standard deviation. And while that did increase her probability of success a little bit by 1%, it reduced the amount she leaves behind. So that's not really what we're looking for. I mean, that's okay, but let's hit a balanced portfolio. I got to do something else here too. Wait, that thing is right. Let's see what balance says. Probably, yeah, it doesn't do much. All right, so that's not going to change much. And the reason I won't change much is simply because she's still taking 6% a year from her portfolio. I don't think this is going to change anything because I don't think there's actually any retirement spending. I don't think that'll change anything. Let's just double check to make sure they match. That shouldn't change anything because there's no retirement spending. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, so in that case, when she is 77 years old, right there, 75 years old, and all her money is now gone from her annuity. Now she's just living off her portfolio. What we want to do there is do the same thing. We want to do another annuity. In fact, what we can do, watch this. So check this out. 62,093. So watch what we do here. All right, so watch what happens now. So now we're 13 years in the future, whatever it was. Something like 13 years. Yeah. And so now she had the leftover $1 million in her brokerage account, all right? She had $1 million for IRA. No, it's a brokerage account. We're going to split them up again. And again, we're going to assume the annuity pays us 4.8. Will it pay us 4.8? I have no idea, but that's what we're going to assume. And we're going to put her back into an 80-20 portfolio, the remaining $500,000. All right. So again, forget the balance. We're just basically saying, hey, once we run out of money in the annuity, we're splitting them up again. Oh, this is such a good strategy, man. I don't know why more people don't do this. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to keep it right here, boink, and watch what happens, man. This is fantastic. All right, so her rent at this stage has gone up to about $62,000 a year. 60. Let's do 62,000 because we'll change that to 62,000 as expense. It's about the same, but 51. We're gonna make that 5,200 right there a month in rent. So her rent has gone from 48,000 to 62,000, and her distribution from her annuity will be 62,000 as well to keep up with that rent. They're both growing at 2% a year. They're both the distribution amount is growing by 2% a year as the rent is growing by 2% a year as well. We're gonna hit retirement. Oh, such a good strategy. Such a good strategy. Let's just make sure it took. Again, she's 13 years from death now, because now she's 75 years old. It's still 2025, but just doing some finagling. But you can see that annuity is $62,000. That's her rent right there. See how they're the same exact amount, almost the same exact amount. So the annuities, the rent is $64,921. The annuity is $64,505. So you get it. So then we're saying it counts. The annuity drops off in year 2033. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years left of the annuity. By the time the brokerage account kicks in, it's grown from 500,000 to 819 in basically year 9. And then she's 84 years old, and then by the time she dies, she has 717,000 in there. If we have it in a portfolio that's 80-20, still right here, 5.6. I just think that's a good portfolio, man. And then we can change this guy around. Look, so she's not only not run out of money, but her median liquid net worth when she dies is $400,000. That's if she kept a portfolio at 80-20. I wouldn't keep it at 80-20. I'd move in conservative portportfolio, because this is it, Diane. And say, look, so look at proposed plan. It's 100%. She leaves less money, but dude, so basically what we're doing is we're splitting up half our portfolio. We're saying we're going to take basically an annuity that we're getting a good interest rate off. We're going to pull that money off each and every year to pay for whatever good we need. We're going to put the rest in an aggressive portfolio. Dude, you don't have to SPIA this. You don't have to do a guaranteed income annuity. You can just say, I'm going to have this as a guarantee 4.8. So every $100,000 I get in there, I get $4,800 a year in income, or $400 a month. $1 million, I get $4,000 a month of income. Yeah, it doesn't grow with inflation. So we have to tap into the principal. You can tip into principal for 10% a year. Most annuity contracts give you 10% a year that you can withdraw without a penalty. Now, you still got to pay income tax on it. But in this case, because we sold the house, that's principal is tax-free. It's just return of principal. You already paid tax on it. It's not an IRA. Look at me, like a drum like Peter Criss. Remember Kiss? You'd be able to do it. I just broke the PVC pipe of knowledge, and you saw it here first. All right. It's fantastic. Fantastic strategy. Love your thoughts. Bang that. Do the love gun. From Kiss. Remember that? Love gun. Do the love gun on your like button. We'll see you. God bless.